Hello everyone, 2025 is almost over and I thought I'd sit down, metaphorically of course, and have just a candid chat with you all. 2025 has been a very interesting year for me personally. It's been full of a lot of highs and positive things, but also full of a lot of lows and very negative aspects of the year. And I wanted to just kind of briefly talk about what's been going on in my life beyond just what I've done with the channel, but also talk about what I've done with the channel, because I do want to be honest with you all about where I'm at, where I'm coming from, because if we're all being completely honest, I haven't been the most present this year, and there's been good reasons for that, but to someone on the outside looking in, it just looks like I post once a month, if you're lucky. And so I wanted to do kind of a 2025 year in review, the good and the bad, and also talk about some of the things in my life that I've been doing, some of the changes that I've been making in my life, and also talk about where I'm going to be going with this channel and my content in general going into the next year. I'm not sure if this is going to be the last video of 2025. It's December 18th as of recording this, so it very well may be. And if it is, I wanted to end on this note, but if I managed to squeeze another video in there, I wouldn't be opposed. And so I wanted to start off with just a bunch of the crazy life stuff that has been going on over 2025. We started out great this year. I started a couple new series of content on this channel. I started the show Screen Factor, a show that I initially was a producer and co-host on in high school, but obviously I'm not releasing those. But it's a show I loved doing, and so I wanted to kind of revive and revamp it on this channel for you all, talking about upcoming releases, news coming out of the entertainment industry that I'm excited about, not celebrity drama, more focused on like the actual content side of Hollywood. There's probably a better way to put it than content. I don't want to equate Martin Scorsese with YouTubers. And I also started a series going into the musical career of one of my favorite artists of all time, The Weeknd. And granted, I have only done 2 episodes of that thus far. I swear I'm gonna be better in the new year. But it's a series I'm excited to talk about because, in my opinion, The Weeknd hasn't had a single miss in his entire discography, which is crazy. And I've also made a bunch of independent videos for this channel that I'm very proud of. Like the video I did about the Meat Canyon short film, also the kind of Halloween trilogy I did this year. Instead of talking about any one spooky piece of media, I just decided to tell my own story. And eventually I'm going to do a behind the scenes video about that because it was very fun, but also excruciatingly painful to make. And of course I did start a series going over vinyl updates whenever I got enough vinyls to warrant an update video, which reminds me, this has also been a year where I have gotten really into collecting physical media. Pieces of media that I am interested in, primarily vinyls and CDs, but also books and movies. I don't want to sound too preachy in this video, but in an age that is dominated by streaming services, and streaming services that will very quickly switch up their pricing models so that your plan is saturated with ads, or just simply revoke your digital license and say, nope, that piece of media that you bought, that's ours now and you have to pay us again for it. In an age where movie studios are just being so greedy with it, I wanted to take all the movies that I love, movies I really enjoy, and have a physical copy on hand, something that they cannot, hopefully, take away. All that to say, this is just one of the many bookshelves in this house that I have filled with things. And in very exciting family news, in spring of this year, my brother got married. I don't talk much about my brother on this channel, and I don't post photos of him because he prefers to keep his privacy in the online space, and I respect that. But I will show you this really cool photo of me as the best man at his wedding. It was an amazing day. He is married to an amazing woman, and I couldn't be happier for the both of them. This is the part of the video where I start justifying all of the breaks that I took this year, beginning with the wedding. And as I've talked about before on this channel, we moved. And believe you me when I say that was one of the longest and most exhausting processes I've ever gone through in my entire life. And it is something we are to this day still in the middle of. Day to day, it's a lot more relaxing, but we do still have plenty of rooms in the house that are just essentially box storage and not functional rooms. But as a ray of sunshine in the middle of that, I did manage to get this office looking pretty nice. And by pretty nice, I mean it's kind of a mess right now. I've got a lot of junk off camera that is just piling up and I need to deal with. But renovations in this house are ongoing and I will still get pulled away to do stuff like that. But in the beginning days when we first moved into this house, every single day I was hauling furniture, hauling boxes. I'm surprised I am not jacked at this point. On average, I was probably lifting thousands of pounds a day. Not all at once, mind you, of course. I am nowhere near that strong. This truly was the year of me just taking endless breaks, and my channel has probably suffered for it. And as Halloween approached, which is a season that I normally look forward to because I get to make a fun, spooky video to entertain you all, it became increasingly clear to me that I just had not even ideas. I had plenty of ideas for a Halloween video. I just had no inspiration and no energy to make them. And that was partly because of the exhaustion of this house. Because last year when I made my Mandela catalog video, I was planning that video in August. I was planning that way before Halloween. But this year, October rolled around, halfway through October rolled around, and I hadn't even written a single word. I hadn't even wrote a single word. I need to read more books to learn how to speak English properly. I think that's what I need to do. I keep saying I didn't have ideas for Halloween videos, but I had plenty of ideas, just no energy to execute them. And then I came to the conclusion, I had this revelation one day, what if that was the idea for my Halloween video this year? And so I made a trilogy of short narratives. Oh, well, it's one short narrative separated into 3 chapters that I released every week leading up to Halloween. And I was really proud of it. I wish I had had more time to write it, to work on it, but I had the idea entirely too late. And while I was making the final chapter of that project, while I was editing the final chapter of the project, I got the news from BC that my grandpa had passed. And it had been looming over us for a while. He was diagnosed with ALS over a year ago now, but it still hit really hard. We'd even already been planning on making it out there to see him, to see the family, but we did not make it out there in time, unfortunately. And so obviously I took another break to go out there, be with my family, and be there for the funeral. And I am a Christian. I don't talk about it much on this channel, but I am. And so I do believe that I will see him again one day. But man, the wait is going to be long. I wish you guys could have met him. He was easily the wisest man I've ever known, with a sense of peace unlike any I've ever seen. And so for the foreseeable future, I'm not sure how long, but probably at the very least an entire year. In the description of all my videos, I am going to have links that will take you to various ALS charities that you can donate to. I don't expect you to, I don't require you to. By any stretch. Most of the ones you'll see are Canadian charities, and I know the majority of my audience, majority of my subscribers are American. And so I have included some American charities down there as well. But I wanted to show some love to the organizations in Canada just for the huge help they were to our family personally. The top one in the description is specifically for the province of British Columbia, and I would love if you could donate to that one specifically, not to pick and choose what charities you donate to, but they were the ones most involved in helping my grandpa, and so it'd be awesome if me and my community could show them some love and appreciation. So yeah, feel free to do your own research into what charitable organizations you think are more legitimate or which ones you think are more directly helpful to the cause. But I've provided at least a good starting point for you in the description because I want to show them some love for the love that they showed us. Everyone here is doing okay, we're all hanging in there, but it sucks and it hurts a lot. But if you know anything about ALS, you'll know that we're sad that he's gone, but we're happy that it's over. And that's all I'll share for now. Boy, did I have to take like 4 or 5 takes to say every single sentence in that. And while I was away for the funeral, my channel passed 10,000 subscribers in slightly more optimistic news. It is a huge milestone, and I cannot thank you enough for it, even if it did not come at a time where I could have addressed it better. It was a milestone I was anticipating and wanted to celebrate properly, but I think you all understand I couldn't do that. And we may still have, at some point in the future, a belated 10,000 subscriber milestone celebration. I wouldn't rule that out. But yeah, thank you all so much. It was a bright moment in a very dark couple weeks. So thank you all for that. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you stick around for a whole new year of videos. And when I came back from the funeral, I just kind of dove right back into making videos. Subscribers know I was at a feverish pace for a while there compared to what I have been doing. I did think about taking a longer break. Like I did some pondering about whether that was what I needed or not to kind of process the grief. But once I got back home, I just felt like getting back into videos is what I really needed at that point. So I just kind of dove right back into it. A lot of my grieving has been done slowly over a long period. To be honest, I started grieving well before it happened. It's been slow going, but it's been happening. And when I got back home, I also started taking my life back in other ways, building habits for myself that were a little more constructive than what I have been doing. Because if I'm being honest, I haven't taken the best care of myself in the habits that I've been building. And part of that is definitely mental health, but also physical health as well. But I'm slowly starting to build some structure in my life because I think that's been very helpful in improving my life day to day. For instance, I started reading again. This is something I have been slow in picking up, and I have been reading steadily for the last year and a half-ish. I'm one of those people who suffered from crippling I need to be on my phone syndrome, and it's something I still do, if I'm being completely honest. But now I've actually established firm boundaries for myself, setting aside time every day to read. And in an attempt to be more mindful and attentive to what I'm reading rather than being distracted, having my attentions divided, I've also taken up journaling. I've been journaling about most things in my life. Thoughts on pieces of media, thoughts on little notes on books that I've been reading. There's been a gap here on this bookshelf for quite some time in the background of my videos because I am currently in the midst of working on The Lord of the Rings. I'm finally rereading it after many a year. The last time I tried to read this book, I was in middle school. And boy, oh boy, was I not mentally or maturity-wise equipped to read this thing. Like, in my recollections of trying to read The Lord of the Rings in middle school, I remember Frodo and the Hobbits being with Tom Bombadil in his house for, like, literal years. Like, I thought it, like, a third of Fellowship of the Ring was them with Tom Bombadil. Like, when will they just leave this guy's house? But as it turns out, I was just actually a teenager, and they were there for like a chapter and a half. So yeah, I'm rereading The Lord of the Rings and I am really enjoying it, especially because I'm actually taking the time to read it thoroughly, read it slowly and intentionally, and taking notes on things that I find interesting from the text. To any people who read books, any book influencers who may see this, no, I am not writing in the actual pages. This is a really nice addition, and I would rather keep it clean. But I have been using Obsidian a lot to keep track of my notes and kind of organize them. And that's been really fun and rewarding in and of itself. And my YouTube algorithm has actually been helping me a lot with building these constructive habits. I've been having a lot of people who are in the book sphere on YouTube being recommended in my feed who have been very helpful in teaching me good and mindful habits for actually sitting down and reading attentively rather than just blindly speed reading and then having no idea what I just read. Because that was my strategy for quite some time, especially in middle and high school. But it's something I'm slowly getting back into and something that I am slowly beginning to develop a genuine love for. Something that will probably make an appearance on this channel at some point. Because I do have videos coming down the pipeline that are going to be videos about books I have read. And I may even do kind of like book updates, kind of like an informal book club of the books that I have been reading. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. And if you're not interested, I'll probably make it anyways. If I wanted this channel to be successful, I would have just made Godzilla content for the next 10 years. So yeah, I've been trying to build healthy habits for myself, like reading, spending a lot less time on reels, and it's slow going, but it has been very rewarding. And if you're interested, if I thought about it, I will have linked some channels in the description that have been very helpful to me in getting into the habit of reading, kind of trying to like psychoanalyze myself into the ways that will get me to enjoy reading the most. Because for the longest time, I would exclusively read while I was on lunch break at work, and when I'd actually sit down to read, I'd be like, well, I just kind of want to go on my phone. I have 15 minutes. So it's been slow, but it's been very rewarding. And it's a habit that I want to continue all the way through next year. Not necessarily a resolution, because resolutions are so easy to keep, but more of a habit that I want to build for myself and a habit that I want to stick around. And speaking of which, I did quickly want to close off this video talking about my plans going into 2026, although I'm going to be a bit vague on details because, ooh, mysterious, you'll find out later. Now, obviously, the first thing is I want to keep making videos, and I want to do it with much more consistency than I have been this past year. But I think I've demonstrated enough reasons why it just wasn't possible this year. It's something I wanted to do, but something I just couldn't do. But I've got huge videos in the works, genuinely massive projects that have been in the writing stage for literal months. And one of those is hopefully coming very, very soon. And with the release of that video, that big video that I was just talking about, I will also hopefully, all of this is in parentheses, hopefully, I will hopefully also be launching another project in tandem with that big video. It is a project I am very excited for and have already started recording for. And another thing I want to see in the new year is more videos posted on my gaming channel, Witty Games. As a matter of fact, I have started recording a new series for that channel as well, because I did want to continue doing gaming videos, but I didn't want to do them in the typical Let's Play format where it's just me in the corner of the screen reacting to the game. I've done that before and I've had a lot of fun with it, but I want to take a more narrative-heavy approach to my gaming videos. And the big problem with that is that means I have to write them. I swear, I have spent my 2025 screen time for Google Docs is probably in the months. Like, I've spent grand totals of months just writing. But I've got the first episode of that series I'm recording for my gaming channel fully written. I just need to sit down and record it, and I can literally do that anytime. That's gonna be an intense one. I'll spoil one thing. It is a Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough. I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3, and I need to finally make that work for me. And so there's a Baldur's Gate 3 series coming on my gaming channel, Witty Games. If you like Baldur's Gate 3, or if you like my style of entertainment, go over and give that a big ol' subscribe. Hit the like button on all of my videos, including this one. It's going to be a Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, obviously, but it's going to be in a style that is not your typical Let's Play. I wanted to do something a little creative with it, and I really hope it works. It works in my head, but that means nothing until I actually record it. Now, the main problem with trying to juggle all of these projects that I've been talking about up until this point is that I am currently a one-man army. I am the sole filmer, writer, editor. I do everything myself. I receive no help from the outside world. And so the amount of time per week that goes into just writing, editing, recording is insane. It would be so much easier to juggle all of these projects if I just hired on an editor, but I do not make enough money from this channel to be able to justify bringing on an editor. And so my goal for this upcoming year is to juggle as many projects as possible simultaneously without dropping a single one. I bet this is gonna go great. This isn't a cry for help, begging for like an editor, like, oh, please work for me for free. I will continue to do all of this stuff myself until I have enough to pay someone to be at least a part-time editor for me. Another thing I want to do in the new year is just to continue carving my niche online, figuring out what I'm meant to be doing. Because like I said, I could be getting a lot more views, making a lot more money on YouTube if I just became a Godzilla creator. Like if I just took my Shin Godzilla video and just kept reproducing stuff like that for eternity. But the truth is, I don't want to do that. I've said all I want to say for now on Godzilla, and so I'm just not going to touch it until I feel like I need to again. I want to be completely transparent with you all because you deserve it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this channel has always been just a platform for me to talk about things that I like. And whether that gets views or doesn't get views, doesn't matter to me, I'm still gonna do it. I made that video on Shin Godzilla, and at this point it's got about 500,000 views, which is insane. But I've also made videos on German surrealist films. I've made videos about movies that were so long that most people just didn't watch them. Movies that most people found boring, but I found just unequivocally captivating. And I'm gonna continue to do that. Whatever I find inspiration to make a video on is what I will make a video on. And so I hope that if you stick around, you will be okay with me just exploring any topic I love, whatever that is. That big video that I keep teasing that will be out in the early part of the new year is a video on one of these books here. This is my shelf of classical literature, and I read one of these this past year, and I'm doing a video on it because I thought it was an incredible story, something that I wanted to talk about. Even if endless people have talked about it online, probably dozens of people who are more qualified than me. I mean, I have a bachelor's degree. There's people who study their whole lives on some of the books here. But I'm doing it anyways because I love what I do. And so I'm just gonna keep doing that and not pandering to the algorithm because it sucks and I would hate that. Those are my main things going into the next year. Keep doing what I love, do as much of it as I can, and keep building better habits for myself. Doing a lot of content for you all, but also balancing that with more personal things, like getting better at reading. And by that I mean better at the practice of reading. I can read. Pick any word in the English dictionary, I can read it. And that's all I really wanted to do in this video. I just wanted to have a candid conversation with you about where I've been at this last year, the highs and the lows of this year, because there have been so many tremendous highs and so many just tremendous lows this year. But overall, I am still here, and I am grateful to you all that you are still here, and ideally that you watched until the end of this video. Now, I did originally want to close this video off with just a bit of a Q&A for anyone who was curious about me personally or where I'm taking the channel. And so I made a community post about it, but not many people see my community posts, which is fine. The only responses I got were an incredible Lord of the Rings reference.
Do you wear wigs?
No, I do not.
Have you worn wigs?
No, I have not.
Will you wear wigs?
Maybe.
When will you wear wigs?
As well as someone who thought that I died because the picture I posted was a black and white photo of myself. I am not dead, that's just the nicest photo of me that I currently have. I'm a stereotypical guy who doesn't really have any good photos of himself. If I were to make a dating profile today, I would have maybe 2 photos that could go on it, and that's it. And none of them have the goatee. This is a relatively new addition. So I won't be doing a Q&A in this video, obviously, but if you do have questions that you want me to answer about just myself, my life, or maybe the channel, the future of my content, any questions you have coming out of this video, leave them in the comments and maybe I'll answer them in a separate video, or if I don't get enough of these, I'll just reply to your comment. So we're just gonna put a pin in that Q&A, and if you have any Qs, leave them in the comments of this video. But this has been my 2025 year in review, and if I don't see you until the new year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year to you all. I myself am looking forward to continuing making videos for you all, both here on my gaming channel and other places that you will find out about at a later date. And of course, a huge thank you to my patrons who supported me through this incredible roller coaster of a year, this great and terrible roller coaster. Sean, Happy the Knife, and the top tier patrons, RD, Snowy, and Bottomless Potamus. Thank you all so much for sticking with me, and I hope that you continue to enjoy the content that I am making for you all. And if you want to join the Patreon for yourself and get access to these videos early with no ads. Sorry, I don't normally do the YouTuber thing because my vibe is incredibly low energy compared to the Mr. Beasts of the world. If I made a single video with the same energy that the likes of Mr. Beast do, I think I would just kill. I like to think I bring much more of a chill vibe to my videos, and I hope that you enjoy that vibe. I was promoting the Patreon. If you want access to these videos early with no ads, as well as bonus content whenever I make something crazy, then consider joining the Patreon. Producer tier and up are the ones who get access to that. Otherwise, you will be credited in these videos nonetheless. Even for just $1 Canadian, you will be credited as a Patreon member in my videos. But I better stop now before I go on rambling for too long and get this up for you as fast as possible. And I will see you next year, or maybe earlier if I manage to get another video out before the end of the year. But if not, I will see you next year for an amazing year of WhittyGuy. I hope you're excited for that because I know that I am. And cut.